Hey Pisces, let's jump into your beginning of October reading. So I already have your spread here and I'm going to clarify. So the first thing that I want to point out to you, you definitely have a lot of things happening in your love life. The Twin Flame card has come out, so we're going to talk about that in a second. But let's talk about all the good things that are happening for you during this time and how it's affecting your love life and all of that good stuff. So we have transformation. Okay, so you have major changes occurring right now as we speak. Now you most likely have been feeling this energy, especially if this has been happening since the end of September. You probably have already been feeling this energy of shift. If you are feeling this energy, do not be alarmed. My best advice, depending on what you're going through, is to allow the changes to happen and to just be aware of what those changes are so that you're able to adjust whenever everything kind of settles down, okay? Because things are definitely moving around. So I feel like a lot of you are starting something new because of something that something bad that shifted. So for some of you, it could be a relationship ended, and so now you're moving forward and focused on your career. So that's what I feel like for majority of the people watching. It's like you are starting this new career or passion or talent or skill because of something that you've recently let go of. So it's like when one door closes, another one opens. And I think you're definitely experiencing that, you know, during this time period for sure. All right, so that's definitely a good thing. I see that you do have a love offer coming your way. Definitely you're gonna have to make a decision in your love life coming pretty soon or at this time. You will have an offer. It's going to force you to make a decision of who you want, I believe. And whatever you choose, it's kind of like you're going to have to choose what's the best relationship for you, what's the best partnership, what's the best give and take, what's the most balanced relationship that you should go towards. That's what you're going to be kind of debating. So for some of you, I'm seeing that for whatever reason, a lot of you are debating, should you be with someone for love, and the passion, or should you be with someone for what they can offer you as far as monetarily and foundation. So I see that some of you guys are really battling like true love versus down the line, is this going to be sustainable, is love going to be able to pay the bills, something like that. So what's interesting about that situation, I feel like that's like a self thing. That's something that you have to come to terms with, like what do you think is more important. But at the same time, usually when you have a situation where there's someone who's truly there for you and like you guys really love each other, all of the other stuff works itself out because you both are building each other as you're together. So I would say if you're stuck in a situation like that and you're trying to figure out what should you do or who should you go towards, you need to go towards the person that is equally giving what you're putting in. And so that's gonna, you have to be like honest with yourself about that. Like you have to be like, okay, if I don't have this part of my life together and I expect them to have that part of their life together, what am I bringing to the table to balance that out? You understand what I'm saying? So you can't just go into it wanting the perfect match and you haven't worked on yourself. You haven't done any shadow work. You haven't done any self-building. You haven't anything. You know what I'm saying? So I think a lot of you, if you are going through that dilemma, that's probably what the problem is. Like you have to really know what you expect and what you're willing to add to the relationship, because the whole point of this is a even give and take. Now the good thing that I do see is that you definitely will be starting some sort of relationship or maybe taking it to the next level, and then you also will be receiving some sort of advice or money coming towards you. Okay, so you're going to be receiving some sort of gift. All right, so let's kind of get some more information on what this is. So I'm seeing that there could be a Sagittarius involved or a fire sign, because we have Father of Fire. But I'm also seeing that this is involving, if this is about your career and you're making a decision on which way to go career-wise, it does look like you are very, very good at whatever you do. And I think that you have a lot more control over the situation than you realize. Like you have a lot more power in it than you realize. So for example, you could be offered a better job, but you want to stay where you're at or something, but like maybe you need to negotiate how much they pay you or something to that effect. And I think it's because you are a master at something that you do. So as well as I was saying, okay, it could be love, but it also could be in your career. Maybe you're making some really big decisions within career, as far as like, do you want to move up or do you want to stay where you're at and build where you're at, or do you want to move up to the next level and start, you know, from the ground up? Whatever the case may be, that is definitely showing up. The signs that are involved, we have Pisces, Aquarius, and Capricorn. So I do believe that a lot of this situations for some of you is really just involving yourself as far as what decisions you want to make for your future. You're really thinking about that on a deep level, and you're owning the fact that your career has a lot to do with what you want to do in your life in general. We have the Twin Flames card coming up here. So obviously if this is about love, your twin flame is showing. Now let's talk about the twin flames, okay? Because twin flames, I think everyone thinks that they know what it is for the most part, but what twin flames truly are, it could be a very good person for you. It could be a love person, it could be a sibling, it could be a friend. What a twin flame truthfully is somebody whose energy matches yours. And so what happens is, if you're in a really low vibrational state and you find your twin flame, that person is also on that level. And so that's why it seems like it's so perfect, because both of you guys are on the same level, whether it's low or high. So what I would encourage you to do is make sure you're doing your shadow work, because especially with this transformation energy, this basically is saying things are shifting really, really deeply at this time. So if you're engaging with the wrong person, literally or figuratively, that could be detrimental to your future. It could be detrimental to your growth. But on the flip side, in a good way, it could be something totally amazing, and you may miss it because you're trying to find the perfect whatever, and you're not even on that level yet. So I would say you need to be very, very honest about who this person is, what they bring to the table, what you expect. Don't think about if they have the potential to change necessarily. Think about what they're already showing you, and I think that'll be that. Like, just be realistic about what they're showing you, how they are. Is that something that you really want in the future? Don't make excuses for yourself or them, okay? Because I think that's what's happening here. The decision is coming with you trying to, you know, think for the future and think right now, think about the past. Like, no, let's just look at what's happening right now, because things are changing anyway. So just go with what evidence you already have when it comes to this person or this job or whatever the case may be. All right, so we have the High Priestess, so that's that Pisces energy once again. I feel like you know who this person is, or you know what this situation is about. I feel like even if you don't realize that you know, you have like an intuitive gut feeling about how it's going to turn out or who it's going to be, or maybe you just feel like things are shifting, like you feel it in your gut. And that's what I'm seeing here. It's like internally you know what's up. I think some of you guys pull cards or you watch readings or whatever, so like you know something's about to happen type of thing. It's very spiritual. Almost like for some of you, this person has not physically reached out or whatever, but like you know, or you can sense that they're thinking about you, something like that. The Magician. Some of you have done certain things to get this person to come your way, or you've planned for this person to come back, or this job, or maybe you've done like some rituals to get this job or something like that. So I see that you're very knowing about what you're doing, like you're very aware. I think you're being very silent about it is what I would say. I also feel like this person also has a lot to do with the occult or something like that. Like they may not be vocal about it, but I think they know what you're up to, or they do some of the things that you do, or yeah, it's something like that. What's the outcome of this situation? It definitely could also be your career is what I want to say too. That's sticking out a lot. Justice. Okay, so we have some Libra energy coming out. What about this Justice energy? Princess of Wands. So it's okay, so it's almost like you get some news about a job. It's like you find out the truth about the news that you're supposed to receive from your job. And I think it is like a karmic shift. So in that way, I think it's really, really good. But I think in order for you to accept this shift, you may have to leave something from your past behind. So whether it's relocating, whether it's quitting the job that you kind of like in order to go to this new one because it has more opportunity, whether you have to get some sort of certification or something like that in order to do it. It just looks like this is a big shift for you, and for whatever reason I think you feel comfortable where you're at, but you have the opportunity to go bigger than where you're at. And for some reason I think some of you are a little afraid of that, but you can feel it and you know that this is something that you wish for or asked for, or you've been working hard for it. So it's like, why stop now? Wow. Okay, so this is huge in whatever aspect this is in. I think for some of you, marriage may be involved in the situation, figuring out if you want to get married or if you just want to, you know. So this is like a lot of milestone type of things, like where your job becomes a career or your relationship becomes a marriage. And I feel like a lot of you are very aware that that's what's happening. So wow. Yeah, Princess of Cups. A lot of you, it is about your relationship emotionally and even spiritually. Yeah, it's definitely love though. That you're connecting with someone who's your perfect match. And when I say perfect match, I think it's very important for you to, like I said, to be honest about what you've been doing. If you're someone who's always entertaining multiple people and you don't know how to just be to yourself or to maintain a monogamous relationship, and you want somebody who is able to do that and who will not cheat on you and stuff, you have to be honest. Like, why would you attract a person like that if you can't do that for yourself? So you have to be honest. Do you really want that relationship? Do you really even want to be in a relationship? Are you healthy enough to be in a relationship? Are you ready for that commitment, etc., etc.? Now, for other situations, that was just an example, but for other situations it may be different. But I think, karmically speaking, I think a lot of you are on good graces. I think a lot of you have done a lot of growing. But for those of you who are really expecting a miraculous outcome and the perfect person to come your way, I think that's going to be your karmic downfall, because I feel like those people who are thinking that way, you have not done the shadow work. But for the people who have done shadow work and who are bettering themselves, you have some really, really good things coming. You have a beautiful match coming your way. Hopefully it doesn't sound too dark. I just wanted to give you, like, make sure you're working on yourself, because this new person who's coming in is going to be a life changer for you. Okay, so that is your reading. Thank you so much for allowing me to read for you. I love each and every one of you for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye, Pisces.